Hi everybody, I'm James. Today we're going to be cooking a toad in the hole. Really simple ingredients. We've got some parsnips and carrots, some sausages, any flavour you fancy, some broccoli, but that could be any greens, some plain flour, some eggs, and half milk, half water in there. You don't have to have the milk, you could just use water if you wanted to. Salt, pepper, and on here I've just got some potatoes, which we're going to get straight on boiling because that's our first job. So I'm just going to move these over to the back so they can tip over. So while the potatoes cook, we're just going to get our sausages sealed off. It's really important to do this before putting it in the toad in the hole. Some people just chuck it all in one go. You end up with really anemic sausages on one side and then burnt sausages on the top. So a little touch of oil in our pan. Wait for that to come up to temperature. And then we can add our sausages. So we just keep moving there. They're going to take around 3 or 4 minutes just to colour up each side. We don't want them to stick to the pan, so just constantly rotate them as they cook. Watch your fingers because they will spit because of the fat in them. Right, so then a couple of minutes, about 3 or 4 minutes, they're golden brown, so we'll just lift them out and place them on our tray to cool. With this casserole pan, I'm going to cook everything in here. If you haven't got a pan like that, a frying pan, a heavy frying pan that can go in the oven is fine, as long as it's not got a plastic handle. If not, a tray like this will work really well. If you cook your sausages in there, you don't really need to wipe that out now because it's just got some fat in there, and all we'll do is top it up with this later. So we'll just turn that off, leave it to cool down until we need it. Right, so we've got our potatoes that are nearly there. Sausages are sealed off and the oven is nice and hot. So next up, we are going to get our... So the easiest way to make a Yorkshire pudding is pick any size cup, that'll do. Fill it to the top, even quantities of egg, even quantities of plain flour, and then 50-50 milk and water, or if you don't want any milk in there, just water. If you use the measurement of egg as your base, so 3 eggs to the recipe, find something that's height, measure it, and then weigh everything else off from that. So we'll go in with our egg first. I have got some extra batter here today, just because I think it's always a good idea, when you make your Yorkshire puddings, make a few extra ones, and you can bake them off, and then just freeze them so you don't have to keep making things all the time. It's just like a 1 day a week job. So beat them together a little bit. And then we add our flour. And a pinch of salt. And make a paste with this. Right, now we're going to add our milk and water. It will obviously become a lot easier to stir now. Won't be so thick. With the Yorkshire pudding batter, it's really good sometimes to make it the day before so it has time to rest. It does seem to make a huge difference to baking them, but as long as you make it within an hour or so before dinner, it's fine. So that's the nice consistency now. You could, if you'd like, pass this off now to make sure there's no lumps in there from the flour. So if you just get a sieve, pour it from one container to another. I'm not going to bother, it's very smooth. So we'll just leave that out now until we need it at room temperature. So we'll put it away to one side, and then I think in about 5 minutes time we'll be ready to start our roast potatoes and roast vegetables. So I've just placed a tray in the oven to get warm. My potatoes are done now, so you're just looking to be able to push a knife into them. They're soft, but they're not completely mushy. And then pass them off and let all the steam come out from the centre. So it'll take like maybe 5 minutes, just leave them on the side and let them cool down while your tray gets hot, and then we'll mix everything together and make our roast potatoes. that's nice and hot, it's got a good couple of millimetres of oil in the bottom there, which will help the potatoes from sticking. Now we've drained them off, or passed them off, just give them a little rough up so the edges become fluffy, and that will give you some nice crispy bits. And then go straight in our pan. The water was seasoned that cooked them, but we will give them some extra seasoning, salt and pepper. And then we'll go in with our parsnips and carrots as well. You could do these separately, but they're going to take roughly the same time to cook. Now the potatoes have been part boiled. So pop them in. Same thing with the parsnips and carrots. We'll pop them in the oven now for about 20 minutes. You could, at this stage, do your toad in the hole as well. It's just all the steam from this vegetable will stop the Yorkshire pudding from rising, so I'm going to do them separately. But you could easily put these all in the oven together at one time. Right, so the potatoes and carrots have had about 20 minutes now, so I'm going to lift them out. They're lovely and golden brown and crispy, so we'll just pop them to one side to cool down while we sort out the toad in the hole. So I've just preheated these as well for about 5 minutes, just so the oil's nice and hot. So pop this in the jug. So if we put a nice layer on the bottom, a couple of centimetres will be fine. And we can just place our sausages in there. Try to keep them away from the edge so the sides can rise up like a classic Yorkie. And then we'll put our extras in. So we've got some to freeze down as well. So these will go in the oven now, 25 minutes on 108 degrees. Now the Yorkshire puddings have had 20 to 25 minutes. I've just taken the smaller ones out. The larger one is nearly cooked, so we're just going to pop our vegetables back in to warm through. And we're going to pop our broccoli in this boiling water with a pinch of salt. They're going to take 5 minutes as well. So now everything will be ready at the same time. We'll have the warm roast potatoes, the Yorkshire pudding will be done, and we'll have some lovely greens to serve with it. So just 5 minutes, we're ready to serve. So these have cooked nice and quickly. Probably only taken actually about 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm just going to drain them off now over the sink. Finishing with a couple of turns of cracked black pepper. Our lovely hot vegetables. And our mega potato bowl. I think we agree that it's quite impressive. So all we'll do is build this up inside here now. Pop your green vegetables in. Do use a spoon. Side of roast potatoes. A little pot of gravy if you've got some, if you like gravy. There we go, that's a toad in the hole. It's a bit of a nice family feast. Enjoy.